mic straightened out when he said it.
What happened to the picture now?
Today, the title of my message is Proof of Life.
Not getting over.
From Luke chapter 6, 43 through 49.
What did he do?
No good tree bears bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit.
For crying out loud.
Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes or grapes from briars. The good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart. And the evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For out of the overflow of his heart, his mouth speaks. Skip that again. For out of the overflow of his heart, his mouth speaks.
What did he take? The picture.
Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do what I say? I will show you what he is like who comes to me and hears my words and puts them into practice. He is like a man building a house who dug down deep and laid the foundation on rock. When a flood came, the torrent struck that house but could not shake it because it was well built. But the one who hears my words and does not put them into practice is like the man who built a house on the ground without a foundation. The moment the torrent struck that house, it collapsed, and its destruction was complete. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for these wonderful words. Show us, dear Heavenly Father, how to be good trees and bear good fruit. For we know, dear Lord, that all of us come from you, that you are the root, that you give us strength, that you are there for our glory that we have, and the only glory we can have is through the salvation that is in our souls. We just thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for these words, and now help us understand them and listen to them, dear Heavenly Father, that we know that you love us because of the overflow of our mouths. We just thank you, dear Heavenly Father. In the name of Jesus I pray. Amen. Now, if you look at the front of your bulletin, and I'll put it up there on the board, it says John 15:5. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bring forth what? Much fruit. So today we are all fruits. As I look around, I can see that Jay has gone a little bananas. And that Mike and Mary Jane are good pairs. And that I'm still very cheery in my life. But not that cherry. I might have a few spots. But with that in mind, I need you to understand we are all fruit. We bear fruit unto the Lord. And so as the people see us, we need to know that God loves us. Just as long as we get rid of the pits. And that's what it is when we give Jesus our whole attention. You see, truth has to be in us to be part of us. We cannot have the truth of the world in us and have good fruit. For the truth of the world does not know Jesus Christ. Only the truth of Jesus can come out of us if we have him within us. I think the most important sentence in this set of verses is that out of the heart, the mouth speaks. It is out of your heart. The heart has to be transformed by the glory of Jesus Christ before it can speak the glory of Jesus from itself. As we know from Titus that we are renewed and regenerated. And so if we have that new heart within us, our mouths will speak forth a new sentence, a new glory in Jesus Christ. And the world will see that we belong to Jesus. People need to see from you your understanding that God can take care of you. And that if they even dupe you into something that costs you, that you give them forgiveness. That you give them forgiveness instead of trying to take your own revenge. The revenge is mine, saith the Lord. Leave it up to God to take revenge. The outpouring of your heart must be to love your enemies and to show mercy to all who need mercy. Well, that speaks to the outpouring of your good fruit.
It could be the projector.
God is the only one who is just.
Could be a little.
Because we have no understanding of true justice.
It just went out like
We are to turn the other cheek,
back here.
forgive those that harm us, and give to those as they are in need. You see, the world will know us by our fruit, which is point one, bearing fruit. How you live your life is the fruit that you have within. It says very emphatically that a good tree can only bear good fruit. If you want to know if someone is truly a Christian, look at what they do in their lives and how they conduct those lives. It says that out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's an overflow. You need to fill up your heart with the glory of Jesus Christ to the point that it overflows with the goodness and the love of Jesus Christ. A good, remade heart will spill forth good words and good actions. One cannot disguise a hard heart, nor can they always disguise or retard a harsh mouth. In fact, in a time of anger and a time of heat, you will see what's in a person's heart as it comes out of them, boiling because of that anger. That is why he tells us we need to retard our anger as well. We need to give God all the glory and let Him worry about the things that we do not like. Our actions will come from what you do Monday through Saturday and even Sunday afternoon. You will know each person by their fruit. If you want to show yourself a Christian to others, then show them what's in your heart. Your heart needs to belong to Jesus. Since Jesus is in your heart, you will speak of the glory of Him by your actions. You cannot say you love Christ and then ignore the needs of a friend or of someone in the church or even of another church. Jesus will not ask us upon the judgment day and say, "What church did you attend?" He does not care what church you attend. He wants to know, do you love Him with all of your heart, your mind, your strength, and your soul? And to do that, you must bring forth the action that comes from within. He only wants to know if you have faith in what He has done on our behalf. You see, you need to have faith in the cross, faith in the blood that comes and cleanses our hearts. You need to open up your heart so that it can be cleansed. And once it's cleansed, it will bring forth good fruit. He will look at your life, and from that He will know if you will hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant." But if not, if you don't put Jesus Christ into the heart and the heart overflows with the love of Jesus, you will hear, "Depart from me, I never knew you," into the torment and the horror of hell itself. A good tree is one that has given their heart to Jesus, and from that faith has confessed His name before others, in word and in deed. They have repented of their old life, and of course have washed away that old life by immersion. They have said, "I repent, and now I want to become new." And so they are rebirthed through the glory of that water. In Matthew 7:17 through 20, He tells us again, "Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and what? Thrown into the fire. Thus by their fruit you will recognize them." Notice that if a tree, and I will add that those who say they know Jesus, as thinking they are good trees, if that tree does not produce good fruit, it will be cut down and thrown into the fire. You see, you can sit in church all you want, but unless your heart becomes new in Jesus Christ and let Him be the root of your life, you shall be cut down into the fire. A good tree does not produce bad fruit, or more than that, I know a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. As He says, we don't get figs from thorn bushes. We can only get good fruit from tree. Now, once in a while, there's a bad nipple on that fruit, but we all have sins, but God remakes us and forgives us and makes us into good fruit. Second thing today is we must speak from our hearts. Who are you and what you do, as well as why you are what you are in life, is considered to be your heart. It is considered to be who you are. It is the fact that I am Earl. My heart is now producing this fruit in this pulpit because God has called me here. But God calls us all first to regeneration and renewal. God calls us to the faith that surpasses all understanding, that He gives us a glory that is beyond this world. We have a new heart. We live for Jesus. Now we know that nothing can shake the root that is rooted deeply in Jesus Christ. If our heart is truly cleansed from our faith, what shows up in our mouth is good fruit, of which is in you now because you have been remade. A good tree says it cannot bear bad fruit. That means if the output from the mouth is contrary to what you confess, then the heart is bad instead of having been washed in the blood. Said the feet to the mouth, you are the luckiest thing on earth. You are forever getting the best of me. Here I am running around all day, wearing myself out, and all for the sake of your eating. Retorted the mouth, don't accuse me. How would you like it if I stopped eating so you could stop running around? That seems like kind of a strange joke right here in the middle of what I'm talking about. But you see, if our heart is changed, what comes out of that mouth is going to be entirely different than it was before. That the mouth seems to be the center of who we are. The mouth shows our heart to the world. Our mouth then is what's important to the rest of our bodies. And we do that for which is in Jesus Christ. We give of ourselves to others the best we can. Also from the heart will come good fruit. And my friends, the title of my message says, it is the proof of our faith. It is the proof that I have been made over. We will be willing to do the good that we see needs to be done. According to James 4:17, it says, anyone then who knows the good he ought to do and doesn't do it, does what? Come on, what does it say? If you don't do the good it says you are to do, what are you doing? You're sinning. The best of all things for those that are producing that good fruit is if we falter, God is merciful and that He will forgive us and renew us again. But we are to do the things He asks us to do. We are to help others. We are to first off, in our faith, we repent and are immersed. We confess before the world with our mouth. From our heart, our mouth tells the world that I have been made brand new. In Titus 3:4-7. But when the kindness and love of God our Savior appeared, He saved us. Not because of righteous things we have done, but because of His mercy. He saved us through the washing of rebirth and renewal by the Holy Spirit, whom He poured out on us generously through Jesus Christ our Savior, so that having been justified by His grace, we might become heirs, having the hope of eternal life. You've been made over, and you've been renewed and regenerated. That is the hope that is within us, and it needs to pour forth from our mouths. In other words, it is not how we worship that matters, it is who we worship that matters. And if you're worshiping Jesus Christ with all you have, you will do it the way He wants you to do it. Third thing, obey. In other words, do what it says. To become a fruitful tree, the garden of God's Eden, we must be obedient to the commands of Christ. Christ says it very perfectly
Projector.
there in verse 46 so we can understand it. But why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do the things which I command? If you say you believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God, why don't you do the things he has commanded? Why don't you start at the very base and say, I believe. Confess to the world. Repent of your old life and become a brand new person and start producing good fruit. And then you wash yourself clean and become brand new. And then you go out into the world and you tell the world that I believe, that you start showing them by the love that you give unto them. But you don't go right out into the world, and the first time someone does something to you, that you start planning revenge.
Yeah.
Leave that up to God. God will take care of that situation. Someone harms you, bless them. Do not curse them. I think the Bible says that, doesn't it? We must keep a tight rein on our mouth. That seems to be the biggest problem in our world today is the mouth. We hear the evil that is spewed out in the news today. We hear the evil that's spewed out in Capitol Hill. We hear the evil that's spewed out right in our own neighborhoods. People that can only curse us and hate us because we love Jesus. In James 1:23 through 27, anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like a man who looks at his face in a mirror, and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But the man who looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues to do this, not forgetting what he has heard, but doing it, he will be blessed in what he does. If anyone considers himself religious and yet does not keep a tight rein on his tongue, he deceives himself, and his religion is worthless. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Notice verse 26 as it speaks to the output of the mouth from the heart. If one considers himself religious and yet does not keep a tight rein on his tongue, he deceives himself, and his religion is worthless. If someone that says, oh, I'm an elder in the church, I sing in the choir, I do all kinds of things for the church, and yet their mouth is so ugly, terrible, that you can't even stand to be around them, their religion is worthless and they are lost, headed to hell, because their mouth tells you what's in their heart. All too many people show up to church on Sunday and live like hell Monday through Saturday and even Sunday afternoon. God knows your heart, and you must make your heart come alongside the heart of Christ and do all things as Christ desires, not as man desires. Man has put too much into churches today. Man has changed the glory of God in the church. We must come alongside Jesus Christ and look at his word and say, what is it you would have me do? And then read the word the way it was written, and then follow it as it has been written. Christ has told us to love God with all of our hearts, mind, strength, and soul, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. That's just two commandments. But the very backbone of everything we stand for. If you truly love God with all of your heart, mind, strength, and soul, and you come to a situation that is beyond your comprehension, beyond your ability to handle, just give it to God. Guess what? I'll guarantee you he knows how to handle it. If you come upon a neighbor who doesn't like you, then give him to God. Pray for him. Do not curse him. Give him all your love. Do good for him, even to those who curse you. You need to build your faith from the bottom up and make it as much about learning as doing, as we found out from the Mary and Martha story, where one stood to listen and one just wanted to work. But you needed to blend the two together to listen and work for Jesus Christ as well. It's a great story. If you've ever lived in or visited a large city, you probably have had the chance to watch a skyscraper under construction. For the first 6 months or so of the project, all the workmen do is make a great hole in the ground. To build a tall building by starting far below the surface level seems absurd, even crazy. But as you would suspect, there's a good reason for the large hole. To build a mammoth building, it is first necessary to dig down until a strong foundation can be built, one that is capable of supporting the skyscraper. A doghouse needs no foundation, and an ordinary house can be built on little more than a concrete slab. But a skyscraper, that's different. It requires a deep and solid foundation. So it is in our Christian life. Our upward potential is totally dependent on the foundation underneath it. Jesus gives us a great parable. As he says, the house that is built on the sand is not built on a good foundation, that when the water comes and it'll just wash it away. But the house that is built on a good foundation, one that is dug deep into the ground, will hold fast and true. And I want to tell you today, the water that comes, I want to liken it to Jesus Christ, because he is the water of life. And when we test ourselves against the water of life, I want to ask you, will your foundation stand, or will it be washed away? Like the three little piggies, will just a huff and a puff blow your house away? No, my friends, you need to have a foundation that the huffing and puffing of even a hurricane will stand strong and firm in this one foundation called Jesus Christ. In 1 Peter 2, 7 through 8, now to you who believe, this stone is precious, but to those who do not believe, the stone the builders rejected has become the capstone, and a stone that causes men to stumble, and a rock that makes them fall. They stumble because they disobey the message, which is also what they're destined for. If you love Jesus Christ, if you say you love Jesus, if you say you're going to heaven, let me ask, are you doing what he asks you to do? He is the only solid foundation. You need to let him dig deep into your heart. And so when the blood comes, that cleansing blood comes and it flows into your heart, it can clean it. You need to allow the whole heart to be clean. We have to dig deep and renew it from the bottom up, from the inside out. And we are made new in Jesus Christ. 2 Timothy 2:19, nevertheless, God's solid foundation stands firm, sealed with this inscription, the Lord knows who are his, and everyone who confesses the name of the Lord must turn away from wickedness. Do you confess Jesus Christ as the Lord of your life? Do you confess to the world that I believe that Jesus is the Christ, and yet you curse them, yet you tell them dirty stories, yet you allow things in your life that doesn't belong, like pornography, that you agree with adultery, that you agree with abortion? You see, my friends, you have to stand against the tide of the world. The world says it's okay for abortion, but my friends, it is not okay in the words of God. It's not okay for divorce. It's not okay to live together. It's not okay to do so many things the world says, oh, that's okay. It ain't going to hurt anything. It is against the nature of God. It is against your nature. And it is an outpouring of your heart that your mouth says it's okay. It's not okay in accordance with God's word. We need to stand up and tell him. You see, we need to confess his name before men by telling them what's right and wrong in accordance with God. But first off, in Romans 10, 9 through 10, and if believe and are justified. And it is with your mouth that you confess and are saved. You cannot have a Christian sitting in church on Sundays that does not confess his name. I remember a man coming here. I went to his house one day. Asked him, I said, well, in your meetings, do you tell people that you're a Christian? Oh, no, I don't want anybody to know I'm a Christian. Well, if you're not confessing Jesus Christ before men, you're not a Christian. You see, we need to stand in that understanding. The relationship of our heart to Jesus Christ tells the world our relationship to the glory of heaven. If your heart does not belong to Jesus, your mouth will show. So we need to stand firm. I know God is the God of salvation because He loved us so much that He sent His Son, Jesus Christ, to die for us. He did the work for us. Nothing I can do for it. I do everything because I have Jesus Christ in my heart. I do everything in this world because I am saved, not to get saved. My repentance, confession, immersion, those are all because I now believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. Now, if I refuse to do them, then I don't have Jesus in my heart. If I refuse to give, if I refuse to help my neighbor, I don't have Jesus in my heart. If I get mad because I can't do something, oh, that's my job. Well, you want to do it, go ahead. When you want to preach next Sunday, let me know. You see, it's not my job. I get paid for it, thank goodness. But at the same token, God called you to do this. As God has called you to love your neighbor. He's called you to help your neighbor, to give. Not grudgingly. Did God give grudgingly? Did He say, oh, them stupid idiots down there, they're going to make me kill my son? Oh, how terrible them people are. I'm only going to give one of their own. I'm going to find some man down there that's terrible. I'm going to let him go on the cross. Would that be the case? The thief on the left and the thief on the right would have been good enough for our salvation. Instead, God said, I'm going to send my very best. I'm going to send my Son. He will die for them. Will you give Him your very best? As the team comes to sing, let me ask. Have you given Him your best? Have you confessed Him before men? Maybe you've fallen away a little bit. You haven't been strong. You want to rededicate your life. Many reasons we come forward. The number one reason is to confess the name of Jesus Christ before men. That is with your heart that you believe and are justified. Remember that. It's with your heart that you believe and are justified. It is with your mouth that you confess and are saved. So let's give it to Him today as we stand and sing.
He said, you see me. Where he went now. He's not looking up.